right, we're back. Okay, so hey, last video. With this video, really we're going to be talking about two areas in the world that resisted being taken over by the Europeans. Now look, they may do it through use of some technology by adopting some weaponry. They may do it by diplomacy. You know, they have aces up their sleeves. And let's talk about it. We're going to see how this happens. Now, really, the two areas we need to talk about is going to be Ethiopia and Siam. Okay? So let's talk about Ethiopia first. Okay? Now, I guess similar to Japan, Ethiopia realizes we need to modernize or we're going to get taken over like everybody else in the world. So look, Japan was pretty darn successful. I mean, like, they didn't get taken over. I guess initially they got taken over a little bit economically when they let them in, but they held strong. All right, and then they eventually started defeating European powers. Looking at you, Russia. Okay, Ethiopia does the same thing. Okay, now look, going all the way back to 1868, the Ethiopians had run-ins with the British. They had run-ins with Europeans. So they know what they're up against, and they're not stupid. Okay, and plus they see everything going on around them. They're like, yeah, these guys are pretty tough. We need to adapt. So the guy you really need to know is King Menelik II. All right, now King Menelik, he wanted to strengthen the Ethiopian state. He was smart enough to realize, dude, we need to get stronger, and we need to get stronger like the Europeans. Okay, so first thing he does, he consolidates his power. Okay, you have to understand, in Ethiopia you had a lot of rural landlords. They had their own little private armies. Well, Menelik said, no. We need to consolidate all those armies and be more awesome than everybody else. And people will just join me. And that's kind of what happened, okay? He's also going to acquire Western military technology, specifically breech-loading repeating rifles, okay, that you don't have to load every single bullet and fire just one single shot. It's more modern rifles that we think of today, okay? Also, you know, Menelik was pretty skilled diplomatically. You know, definitely he uses the Christian card. You know, he goes to those European powers and say, look, man, we're Christian just like you. All right? It's like, we're boys. Okay? Now, look, keep in mind, Ethiopian Christianity is not necessarily Roman Catholicism. It's not necessarily Protestantism. But it's not Islam. All right? Or it's not some animistic faith, all right? So there was that Christian connection between Ethiopia and some of these European areas, okay? Now, that being said, it's not going to stop some Europeans from trying to conquer Ethiopia. The first nation to go after Ethiopia is going to be Italy. Now, you have to understand, Italy going after you is like your little brother trying to like beat you up. Italy is by far the probably weakest of the major European nations. All right, I mean, heck, they just formed as a country and it's not strong like Germany. Okay, so we're gonna see that they're the weakest of all the industrial powers, and they're gonna go after Ethiopia, and they're not gonna have a lot of success. Okay, the Ethiopians actually win the Battle of Adawa, which is a pretty strategic battle in this war. Now, keep in mind, it's not like the Europeans, like when the British were fighting the Zulus, where the Zulus were using primitive spears and weapons against like modern rifles. You know, like I said, it's much more like the Japanese, where they're using Western technology against a Western nation. And really, we see that the Ethiopians, they lose very little territory against the Italians. All right, and it's actually pretty embarrassing for the Italians that they can't even get Ethiopia, okay? Now, also, the diplomacy comes into play. Britain actually supports an independent Ethiopia. Now, they're not going, oh, look, you're Christian, I'm Christian. No, look, the reason Britain supports an independent Ethiopia is because it provides a large buffer. Keep in mind, we're going to come back to this, okay? It creates a large buffer between Egypt and a lot of the other imperialistic areas. All right. So if you're going to come and invade Ethiopia, or if you're going to come invade, Egypt, you're going to have to get through Ethiopia to do it. All right. So it leaves this big cushion for the British. Also, Menelik, he grants British free trade in Ethiopia. It's like, hey, come in and trade all you want. Okay. We're also going to see that the British will bring in infrastructure. Okay, they will start building railroads. They'll build roads and ports. Oh, not ports, but they'll build roads. Now, look, that benefits definitely the British. All right, it definitely benefits people who are going and making the investment. But keep in mind too, it's offering benefits to the people of Ethiopia too. Okay, the Ethiopian aristocracy is going to benefit. Menelik's going to benefit. The European investors are going to benefit. I would say probably the poor people of Ethiopia, that the average dude, he's probably not benefiting too much. Okay, but there are people benefiting. Okay, all right. So that's in Africa. Let's go to Asia. Let's talk about the other area that hangs tough. Let's talk about Siam. Now, keep in mind, Siam will eventually become Thailand. All right, okay, so Siam, okay? Now, they were also able to prevent a European takeover. And really, it's, and I'm going to butcher these names, it's really with the leadership of two Siamese kings, okay? Mongkut and Chulalongkorn. Okay, try to say that 5 times fast, okay? Look, they're going to use reform, a lot of Western style reform, and they're going to use diplomacy to keep the Europeans at bay, okay? Now, let's talk about Mongkut first, because he's the dad and Chulalongkorn is going to be the son, all right? So he's going to adopt Mongkut. He's going to adopt Western style reforms, okay? All right, he's inviting emissaries and diplomats from all these different parts of Europe to come sit in his court. All right, and he's not going to make them like bow and show subservience. Look, if you're the average Siamese dude, all right, well then yeah, you're going to have to show reverence. You're going to have to bow. You're going to have to kowtow. But he didn't make the Europeans do that because he's not stupid. Because he needs their help. Okay. Now look, that being said, he did favor the British. Like, he wanted British help the most, but he didn't shut out any of the European powers, okay? Now, Chulalongkorn, the son of Mongkut, he's going to continue with these reforms, and he does a lot of stuff in his lifetime, okay? He'll reform the legal system. Now, of course, he's reforming the legal system based on a European standard, okay? He's going to offer private property protections. He's going to end slavery. He will reform education. It's stuff we've been talking about that other areas have been doing as well. He's also going to introduce the products of Western industrialization, like railroads and telegraph systems. Okay. He's also centralizing his government. He's doing all the right things. He's playing the game correctly, okay? Now, keep in mind, he's going to use the Europeans for the stuff they offer, but he's also going to, be diplomatic about it. He will play one European power off the other, okay? He will play the French off the British and the British off the French. He a lot of times he's willing to give up a little bit of land in order to secure the larger piece of land. Okay, he's playing the long game. Okay, now, these policies of appeasement, these diplomatic strategies, they work. All right, both the British and the French, neither of them really go in and overtake Siam, which would be the two that would probably do it. Okay, now look, keep in mind this does come at a cost. The British and the French still need free trade in there, and that's what Siam offers. They're saying, look, we won't invade you. We don't really want to invade you. We just want to trade, man. Just let us trade as much as we want, and everything will be kosher, and, Chulalongkorn is like saying, yeah, I'll let you do that, man. Go ahead. Trade all you want. Okay? All right, now, that being said, in 1896, the English and the French agreed to recognize the independence of Siam. Now, look, also keep in mind that Siam is really a buffer between the English and the French. So they both agree. It's like, okay, we're not going to take Siam. You don't take Siam. You cool? You cool? All right, cool. And really the big winner of it is going to be Chulalongkorn. He's like, all right, I'm independent. Awesome. I'm not taken over by a European power. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see y'all later.